Liliane, Pari, Umuhoza. Picture this, a mother with a 2-year-old child running, climbing hills, and descending valleys, escaping from the killers. An innocent little baby passing part of her childhood, hiding in bushes, then later finding herself in a foreign country as a refugee so as not to be killed. Don't be surprised, that baby was me. Rwanda, my native country, is where my story begins. Rwanda experienced ethnicity-based genocide in 1994, and I was 2 years old. When my community fell apart, my family and I, as well as other people who were targeted, we only had 2 choices: leave our country or stay and die. Really? Is that a kind of community you'd wish to live in? Is that a kind of community you'd wish for your children to live in? Martin Luther King said, "We are not makers of history, we are made by history. My history made me." Experiencing such a tragedy at an early age has been a driving force behind my aspiration to acknowledge injustice and seek for solutions. So today, I came with a package of them. Tonight, I'm standing here to tell you that injustice happened, it is happening, and it will happen again if we do not learn from the past. There are 3 main things we should do by learning from the past to make our communities more just. 1, empower through education. 2, eradicate inequality. 3, act against injustice. Education. Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa and 1993 Nobel Prize winner, said, "Education is a powerful weapon which we can use to change the world." I absolutely agree with him. Education is not only going to class to learn sciences, social sciences, arts, or anything we learn in school. A great education has to go beyond that. It is through education that we learn our values, discover ourselves, learn our right, know our identity, and learn how to raise our voices for ourselves and for those who can't raise their voice. Education opens our eyes to be able to see injustice in our communities, and it opens our minds and our hearts to have the courage to take act against injustice. Education, apart from leading to human empowerment and being a tool for economic growth, it can help to break the unjust rules set in some communities where girls are forced to get married at an early age. Example is Nigeria, where 50% of Nigerian girls living in rural areas are forced to get married before they turn 18. And according to the International Center for Research on Women, those girls have a high risk of suffering difficult pregnancies and often die when giving birth. Education can help us to prevent unwanted pregnancy for girls. Child recruitment to the military, and exclusion of women in some communities where they are not allowed to go out and express their ideas just because they are women. Malala, the winner of Nobel Prize in 2014, is a good example of how empower through education can lead to a just community. Access to education gave her the ability to see injustice in Pakistan and the courage to raise her voice. As she said, one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Education gives us the ability to be compassionate, fair, and care for each other, which will help us to apply the second point of eradicate inequality. Inequality is one of the major causes of injustice. Let us look for a moment who face inequality every day. People who face inequality are those who are denigrated by our communities because of their sexual identity, religion, such as Muslim in today, or because of their race. Think about people of color in the United States. Also women, children, and so many others that our communities treat unequally. In Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to drive. In Taliban, children are used in production and planting of improvised explosive devices. According to the Declaration of Human Rights, all human beings are born with equal rights and fundamental freedoms. Equality is to create a level playing field where there is equal access, equal opportunity, and freedom of speech. All people has to be treated equally for a just community to exist. Inequality promotes division instead of unity. It promotes hatred instead of love, and injustice instead of justice. So we must act against injustice, which is the third point. Break the silence, raise our voices, speak up, and take action wherever we see injustice happening. Last year in November, a picture of a dead Syrian refugee, Aylan, was widely found on social media. A handsome little boy in a red top and a blue short, his body lying dead on the beach in the sand. This photo was a flashback to my younger self and other Rwandan children in 1994, fleeing to our neighboring countries because of the genocide. I wonder why we have failed to learn from the past event in order to prevent the repetition of injustice. If I and so many other Rwandan children experienced injustice in 1994, then 21 years later, Syrian children are experiencing injustice. It is more likely to happen again and again in the coming years if the world doesn't learn from the past and take action. If we had learned from the past, I wouldn't have lost a large number of my family during the genocide in 1994. After the crime of the Holocaust, when the world said never again to genocide. Same for Cambodia, Bosnia, Darfur, they all passed through the horrors of the genocide, one after another. Why? Because we failed to learn from the past. As George Santayana said, those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Past is a great teacher to create a present and a future just community. No, we don't have to let injustice stand in our communities. There is a possibility for our communities to be more just. If we empower through education, eradicate inequality, and act against injustice. In these three ways, we can learn from the past to ensure that injustice never and ever happen again. If you want to know who is going to make our communities more just, take a look in the mirror or take a selfie